Hi chums, just get into position here now if you don't mind. Right, Dalecalder. That's Dale's address there. Look, Dale was very kind and sent me some of those Chinese or Japanese Dalecalder radish seeds that are growing to be absolutely huge. Well, his did anyway. So I'm going to put them in, but we've got a couple of casualties here, folks. Sweet peppers. That's the sweet pepper that I put in. That's the last time you'll see those in this greenhouse. And there's his mate over there. Once again, last time in here, because they just don't do here. The chilies are actually doing better, but those are just useless. So sorry, Eric, I tried them, but they didn't do any better than the ones I've tried before. It's just, we just do not have the climate for those particular things. So what I'm going to do is take that weed out there, and I'm just going to put a row of radishes in. Now I'm going to do a couple of rows and spread them out, and then I'm going to do a row outside as well, because I want to see does it make any difference. You know, there's some weed right in the middle there. Right, that's near enough. You know, we really get ourselves too obsessed too much about planting seeds, because nature just lets them fall on the ground. So why don't we just do the same? You know. Right. So there's my seeds. Where are they? Is my hand there? I hope it is. So we'll put a couple in each row. Oops, nearly fell there. I'll maybe not do ones outside at all, because the weather's been so bad, these need as much help as they can get, I'm sure. So I'll just do all of them in here. So there we are, folks. That's radishes planted, and I'll put Dale's name on those two things there. And a big thank you to Dale. That was very kind, Dale. Thank you very much. It always is something. It's amazing when you see a letter arrive, and you know you've spoken about the thing online or offline, and somebody says they'll send you something, and then it arrives, and that person is suddenly real. You know they're there, but suddenly there you have something from them. So thank you, Dale. That's nice. And we'll keep an eye on those. So as I say, I haven't done any outside, just the inside ones. While I'm at this, I'll just do a wee quick whiz round here. Let you see what's happening inside. Not a whole lot. But what I'm very pleased about is, and Eric, you'll enjoy this. Those are your tomatoes there. Those are the brandywine yellows. And what I did was, I stopped the plant at about 3 feet high, just to keep the growth on it. So they're doing okay. The Romas that were starting to get blossom end rot are actually doing quite well. Look at that bunch down there. So I'm quite pleased with those. I don't expect a whole lot from them, because we just don't have the ripening here. And that's the shoot there. That's the sucker that I took out of a plant. It's actually out of a brandywine, and stuck it into a pot, and there it is. It's the same. It's a bit bigger than the one I actually pruned. And these here are doing great. The Luciolas, they're doing fantastic. So that's good. And there's another one there. Look at the big long trusses there. They're lovely. Gardener's Delight. They're starting to put out decent trusses now. It's been a bit slow, but we're getting there. And the money makers are putting out reasonable trusses. I don't know much about these ones. I don't think I've done them before. I might have many years ago. I can't remember. So that's that. There's one that's surprising me there. That's Favorita. That one. Now it hasn't got a whole lot of growth on it, but look at the amount of tomatoes. So if that does well, it'll stay. If it tastes as good as they say it will, it will stay. And Eric again, big developments down here. Well, there's your cucumbers there. Those are the ones that you sent that are called Cucumber Emile, and they're doing really great. What do you see what I've got? I have got a lemon cucumber. Isn't that super? So I don't know what size those grow to, but I've got one, that's the main thing. And there's some more, there are little ones starting all over the place now. So hopefully we'll get loads and loads of those, and they'll be nice. And there's just the lettuces that were thrown in just for using as we need. And as I said before, they last a long time. Something else I'll just show you while I'm at it, and I'm quite surprised about it, but it's giving me some sense of joy. And it's this. Those are the beans I put in last week, and they're starting to come up. That's one called Cobra. It's a French bean, a climbing French bean, so I'm very pleased about that. And I've transplanted some courgettes outside, and they seem to have taken the transplanting okay, because they're actually putting out courgettes. Then there's another experiment over here. This is a courgette called Striata d'Italia that Eric sent me, and there it is there. And I cooked it up. I got a big one, about maybe 4 times that size, and I sliced it up and fried it in olive oil, like I do with most of the, well, not all the time, but a nice snack that Gary Enterby taught me was just frying up some courgette with olive oil and some salad, and it's really lovely. And I had that with a side with my dinner, some fish the other night. But what we didn't like was the skin. The skin on that one isn't as nice as on the traditional zucchini. And but when you take the skin off, it's dead on. So the next time we're cooking this boy, he'll be skinned before we cook him. So that was the only downside in that, but the inside tasted grand. So we'll be doing that one again. It was very nice. So there you go, that's where we are. And well, the weather's not great, as you can see, but we're starting to get there. The strawberries are starting to die off a bit now. You can still see that they're still coming, you know. There's still some in there. Look, we're still finding strawberries about the place, and they're dead on. So we'll get that sorted. And then over here, that was another bed. I pulled all the weeds out of that and put a couple of squashes in there to see what they do, and we'll see how that goes on. So there you go, folks. The rain's starting now. So I'll just show you my knee. Well, my knee. I was about to say your corn as high as your knee by the, no, up to your knee by the 4th of July, whatever, I can't remember how it goes, but the 4th of July it should be up to your knee. Well, this is almost the 4th of August and it's up to my knee, so we're bait. So there you go, folks. All the best now. Bye bye. And Dale, once again, thank you very much. You're a gentleman. Bye bye.